because we're home. I am absolutely exhausted, to say the least. But I kind of wanted to explain a little bit because I said I was going to come live in June every day, but Sunday, except for the drive for church, Sunday and Monday. Friday, we had to take Mocha to the vet unexpectedly. She actually had ear infection. And so we had to go get her there. We had to go we were doing a meal with Christina, so I had to go get the stuff for it. And so by the time we did just getting her to the vet, dealing with all that, and she had to go under a little bit of sedation to have her ears looked at and all that kind of stuff. By the time we got home, it was about 12 o'clock. Well, I hadn't really slept very well the night before. And so I actually did a little more than I've done in the past month with everything going on, and I'm still dealing with the asthma, as you can kind of hear in my voice. It looks like it's snowing outside. I wouldn't go outside right now for anything because all of the pollen and all of the milkweed are like coming down and you can see it. And I mean, it is just, hi Sandy, it is just like over everything. I mean, we were driving and I'm like, it looks like snow even though it's not snow. So then I came home and took a nap, and after I got all that done, and they went and picked up Mocha, who, again, she had an ear infection, and then she's actually on antibiotics, and then they went to go get Christina. They came back, and it was just, there was never a time yesterday to really do a live. My asthma's getting better. I'm breathing a lot better today, but I'm not spending too much outside. Actually, as we were going down to Columbus, you could see like the smoke layer that was happening. So we went to the service. We left this morning about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Christina spent the night. We went to the service in Columbus. Very lovely service, and then they had a little reception afterwards. So we were able to be with my mother-in-law and some of Josh's family, and he was able to see his grandmother again. So we had a lovely time, as you can. Her sister was 94 years old, so she lived a very wonderful, long life, and so we had a really lovely time, lovely visit, even though it was sad. It was a celebration of life. And we just got home. We actually stopped on the way and had ice cream. And so we just came home from Columbus. The service was at 1. We stayed there. Hi, Ella. We stayed there till probably about 3:30. And we got home and we visited with Christina a little bit more. She cuddled with Mocha. And I am absolutely exhausted. I don't know if you could tell. I'm really, really tired. I literally last night crashed at about 11 o'clock last night, and I literally just slept. I did my breathing treatment this morning. Mathis, I hope I said that right. Well, if you can't tell I'm tired, the makeup must be working. I usually don't have my hair fixed and my makeup on, but I did because I was going to the service. And thank you, but I am. We were talking all the way down. Now, see, the one caveat, I guess, or the one thing that happens when you're doing a breathing treatment and you're doing prednisone, it can affect your voice. So it has. The albuterol tends to kind of make your voice kind of raspy. But I am breathing better. The one other issue that put me in the hospital over Easter stopped for now. And so we're just trying to get the asthma back in track. But guys, I'm feeling better. And I did a lot yesterday, a little bit more. I did a lot more than I've done the past month because I've been sick. A breathing treatment is putting albuterol, which is, I have asthma, so what it is you're putting albuterol, which is a medication, into it's a mask that goes over your face, and it just breathes into your lungs, the albuterol. What the albuterol does is no, I'm not on antibiotics. I'm just on prednisone and albuterol. What it does is opens your bronchial passageways, so it helps you breathe easier. So if you're tight, and if you're having asthma flare-ups, like I said, if you go outside right now, it looks like it's snowing because the milkweed is just falling everywhere. And there's fires in Canada, and when we were going to Columbus, you could see like haze coming over. So Mocha's on antibiotics because she has an ear infection, but I'm not on antibiotics. So I've struggled with asthma for 50 plus years, almost 50 plus years of my life. And so I pretty much have it handled. But every once in a while I get a flare up. And if there's pollen like there is outside, I'm going to flare up. And of course, stress flares things up, and things have not been easy the past 2 months, to say the least. So it's just, I'm working through it. I'm getting through it. And just being able to breathe and not have to think about kind of catching my breath. My lungs are open. I'm not wheezing. I'm not doing any of that. It just feels like you can't totally catch your breath. And I'll get through it. AJ, I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better than I have been, slowly getting better from everything that kind of happened. But it also kind of gives you a raspy voice. So I have uploaded, I can't do turmeric and all that kind of stuff. Coffee really helps, and just making sure that, I'm doing the breathing treatments. One thing I found last night is I actually put a heating pad on my chest, and that really helped to kind of soothe everything. And it's just making sure that I'm not pushing it. I'm taking it easy. I'm not pushing it too much and overdoing it right now as I'm trying to kind of recoup my energy and everything. Coffee also is very helpful for those dealing with asthma, because coffee is a bronchial dilator, and I have 2 cups of coffee a day. Hands down, I do. So we had a lovely little, little sandwich thing laid out, and then we stopped on the way and got ice cream because we were all kind of like, we need some ice cream. So we found a place on the way and just stopped off and said, we're going to get some ice cream. So that's what we did. And I'm going to shortly here go get ready and get comfortable and probably have a little bit of a rest because I'm pretty tired. But that was something I couldn't even do yesterday. It's kind of like, taking that full breath and not having to kind of really, really work at it. But I'm pretty tired. And that's because of everything that was going on, I haven't been able to do a lot of stuff. And we're going to get through that. But I wanted everybody to understand why I didn't do the live stream yesterday, because there was just no time. There was no time and everything. And then I did, and you'll see them going up pretty quickly today. And I'm going to work on some for tomorrow. But I've tried to really kind of post the Bible verses. I'm doing 5 shorts today of them. And the reason I'm doing that is over the next couple of days, except for probably Monday, because we do our quote Monday, I'm probably going to be flooding enough to get so that we're caught up on the short Bible verses. So even though the devotions aren't caught up yet, and I'm working on those, I just want to rest my voice. We talked a lot on the way home. But I want to be able to get at least the Bible verse shorts to match up with the date. Even though the devotions are going to take a little bit of time to get caught up, I want to get at least be able to put the devotion Bible verse out on the actual day. So that's what I'm trying to get to. And if I don't just kind of, put a lot up over the next little bit, then I'm never going to get caught up. And that's what I'm working to do. So tomorrow, of course, we will do our drive to church and have our devotion, or have our connection on the way to church. And then Monday, I'm probably going to be resting, taking it easy and trying to get some of the devotions caught up. And then Tuesday, we will start our normal for the month of June, our Bible verse, our month of June, because it's my birthday month, to have a live stream every day but Sunday and Monday. And I'm also going to be putting up a video Probably I'll try to do that on Monday, because we are going to do our birthday celebration on my birthday, which is June 18th, but we're going to have a video for a $10 gift card to Hobby Lobby, 2 of our soap caddies, and Josh and I are making our own soap bar, hi Lydia, our own soap bar, our own shampoo bar, and we're going to make it, we're going to try it, and so I will probably be including at least that. It's homemade, and I'll include the shampoo bar, which you could put in the soap caddy, which we make, and put that in the shower and just do it. I'm just tired of buying shampoo, so we're going to try to make it ourselves. It's not happening tonight. The only thing I'm probably going to do tonight is at least get the Bible verses so that they run for a little bit of time tomorrow throughout the day. But those are pretty easy to put up. And then once that's done, then I'll go ahead and probably, I'm gonna have a rest. I'm gonna go get ready for bed, and then if I sleep, I sleep, because I'm really tired. I'm not even hungry. Of course, we ate. I don't eat a lot of stuff. I eat 1 meal a day, and that's it. So, and I got to give my voice a rest and just rest and take it easy. But it was a lovely time. Mom's taking Christina back home, and but I thought I'll catch you up and let you know what was happening. And hi Shatikwa, what was happening, but why I didn't do it yesterday. There was just no time. Actually, before we had called up the vet and said, listen, Mocha has an ear infection. They've called in drops and they've been fine. But they wanted to see her. And so they said it was actually in the ear, that they were able to tell that there was an infection. So she actually has antibiotics. She's going to start tonight, because she started a couple days ago, like really itching her ears and shaking her head and all that. And you can actually see one of her ears, and her ears are pretty sturdy and they're popped up. One of them's drooped a little bit. And I thought, I don't want her to be miserable in the crate the entire time we're gone, because we were gone from 11:30 or 11 o'clock to 5:30 at night. I don't want her to be miserable. So they have her on some allergy medicine just to help with the earache, or the ear infection. And she's still kind of shaking her head and so forth. Not as bad. And so I knew something was wrong. So they wanted to see her. So they sat out in the car for 2 hours before they got her into the vet. And then she wasn't happy about all that. And so by the time they picked her up, it was 12:30, 1 o'clock. And by the time Christina came, and I had to rest. There was just no time yesterday to do any live. So I just said I have to skip it. But again, I'm going to try my hardest to make sure that we're doing a live every day on Sunday. And hi Daisy and May, good to see you. Except for Sunday and Monday, because I want to get back into the swing of things. One of the things I want to talk about, and it kind of came as we were talking about, hi Jaden, long time no see. A lot of things, I'll pass it on. I can just say one thing. If you don't have pet insurance and you have a pet, something to think about, because the bill was $300, which we didn't have. And we don't have. But we'll be able to submit that bill to the pet insurance and get most of it back. I would never own a dog without pet insurance. There is no way, because that $300 bill was a huge hit. And so we take the bill, I send it to the insurance company. I pay $65 a month for that dog, so she has pet insurance. And her Apoquel that she has to be on for her allergies is $2.50, $3 a pill. So without kind of pet insurance, it would be unbelievable. But I highly, we use Nationwide, and we have for years for all the dogs. Abby had pet insurance. She ended up getting into rat poison by accident, and we were able to get her care and not have to worry about the bill. Jordan had his, and then he had diabetes at the end. And we got to the hospital, it was like a $4,000 bill, and they covered a majority of it. Hi, Brazy. A Braze. I've been paying 18 months on a dog surgery last year, done in July finally. Yep. And so we had Jordan, and his bill was $4,000, and we got a good chunk of it back. So I never, ever, ever tell you, if you have a dog or a cat, get pet insurance. Highly recommend. Because if you think about it, even though you're paying $65 a month, I can tend to be the person that, yeah, you could put that $65 in an account and hope, but if something happened, usually something hadn't happened with her, but with her, they'll pay for nail trims, they'll pay for, if she's got to get her shots and her heartworm. And then too, if we sedate her, they'll pay once a year for her sedation. And so her vet bills are more expensive. So to me, to pay $65 a month, have a $100 deductible, which is already met, and I know I'm going to submit that $300 bill and we're going to get a majority of it back, except for the sedation part, which we've already gotten paid for. But I just highly, highly recommend. We did last time at the vet, and I think the bill was like close to $200, and we only paid $35. So I highly recommend, because then it's kind of like you're putting it in, but in this year there's been more than we've actually paid out. So I highly recommend pet insurance, and we use Nationwide. They've been wonderful. And when we had Jordan, they gave us 5% discount because it was a service dog. So I'm putting it out there. I'm telling you, never own a dog without pet insurance. Never, ever, ever. I never would. My son-in-law doesn't understand it, but no, I don't. I was like yesterday going, thank you for pet insurance, because we wouldn't have had it. I mean, we have to pay the bill, but then we'll get reimbursed, because otherwise we wouldn't have had to pay. We wouldn't have had the money to pay it. There's just, it's the truth. But anyway, before I got sidetracked, which I do a lot, I know. We're going to do a live, and I want to talk about backstory. I want to talk about your backstory. And I think it's really good to maybe write down what your backstory is. And I'm going to do that. Write down what my backstory is. And I want to be able to identify the ashes in my backstory, but those gold nuggets in which I found through those difficult times. Because everybody has a backstory. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be dressed up. Everybody has a backstory. But we can either hold our backstory up and say, you know what? Hi, Country Homestead. We all have a backstory. We can sit there and hold our head up high and say, yeah, I have a backstory. And yeah, there's ashes in it. But there's gold nuggets throughout those ashes. What's your backstory? So I want to talk about that in a way that you can look at your past. We can learn from our past. We can be proud of our past. The ashes and the gold all mixed together. But what is your backstory? It's a story to be told that you don't know whether that is something that you're going to be able to tell in some format that's going to help somebody else. I'm not proud of everything I've done in my life. My backstory isn't the prettiest in the world, but it's my story. You have a story, and it's worthy to be told. It's your backstory. And sometimes we're ashamed to look at our backstory, because sometimes it's kind of like, you know what? It's not so pretty. But my backstory is awful, but it's made me the person I am today, stronger and stubborn. I agree. And I'm sure that it's filled with a lot of ashes. But you know what? In those ashes are gold nuggets. And we can find, hi Carl, we can find those things. We can find them. We can tell our stories. We can let people know, listen, hey, I have a backstory. You just never know what's going to help. I mean, if somebody I met has somebody that's going through dementia, I can sympathize with that tremendously because I had a father who had dementia. If I meet somebody with a child with autism, I can sympathize tremendously because they had a child. I had a child and raised a child with autism. There's things within my backstory that I can say yes, but I can sympathize and I can understand. Like when they sit there and say, when a lot of people say when somebody's in an abusive relationship, and they'll sit there and say, well, why don't they just leave? Why don't they just get out? And the thing is, I know why. I was in an abusive situation in my first marriage, and I didn't. I fought for that marriage 3 times out until I couldn't fight anymore. I know why they go back. It's because they're hoping, well, they said they're sorry. I love them. I want my family to work. We all do. We all want that. But I can understand when you hear somebody that you think, why are they putting up with all that? Part of it is they don't think they're good enough. They get dragged down so much by the person that they are with. So your backstory is important, and I think it's an important live stream to do and talk about. Let's look at your backstory. Let's look at fear, absolutely. Let's look at your backstory. Let's look at the gold nuggets. I think writing it down is so much more powerful. And I'm not a person that writes things down. I probably type it up. But where can I look throughout my life at things within my backstory going, yeah, that was a lot. And that all came crumbling down. But where's the gold in it? There's gold nuggets in it. And sometimes we have to look at them. Sometimes we have to look for them. Because I told my daughter today, gave her a hug, and I was actually crying. And I said, Christina, you are the only one. Nobody else on this earth is like you. I love who you are. And I said, I love my son-in-law. And I said, he is taking care of the most precious thing in my life. One of the things that is the most precious, which is you. He's taking care of my precious daughter. And I love myself. And it's taken me a long time to get there. You don't want your mama to be anybody else. She's been a fighter. She's been independent. She, doesn't always say things. They don't always come out right. She may say something and then think, oh, I shouldn't have said that because her mind's going, 3,000 steps ahead. But you wouldn't want me any other way. I wouldn't want you any other way. God didn't intend for that. God made me to be exactly who I'm supposed to be. And I don't need to change. When my son-in-law comes around, I'm a little bit more quiet because I know that he can get easily overwhelmed. And because of that, I respect that. That's different from saying I'm going to change entirely who I am. I'm not going to change. I'm Mary. I'm a talker. If you haven't figured it out, even with a voice as raspy right now as it is, I kind of tell it as it is. Sometimes I don't tell things in the right environment. I don't say the right thing. I've got a big heart. I've got opinions. But I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter, and I'm someone that, I'm a good listener. All those things. And I think that's another stream that we can do too, is talking about, we're so quick to talk so negative about ourselves, but just start writing down things about yourself that you really love. And I've started recently thinking, I can sit there and say, well, I love the fact that I have a big heart. But there's more to me than that, just that. But I'm starting to kind of, think more outside the box in the sense, yeah, I'm a good listener. I'm a good friend. I'm a loyal friend. And hi, Sophia. I'm a loyal friend. And I have a kind heart. And I have a big heart. And I want to help other people. And just listening, just instead of just saying, well, I've got a big heart, there's a lot more. Sometimes we got to get really detailed into what we're thinking and what we're doing, kind of what we're saying about ourselves, because we have to realize that sometimes we talk very negative about ourselves, and we have to stop ourselves and say, wait a minute, would we allow someone else to sit there and talk about ourselves that way? No. We would sit there and go, sorry, you're not allowed to talk about yourself like that. You're not allowed to talk about my friend like that. Sorry, you can't do that. Well, why aren't we allowing ourselves to talk about ourselves in such a negative way? Sometimes, as crazy as it may look, I have union meetings with myself all the time. That's how I process information. Our brains are an echo chamber. So fill it well. Yes, I agree with that. If you're saying something, hi, Lori, if you're saying something to yourself that you wouldn't allow someone else to sit there and say to you, you have to stop yourself and say, wait a minute, say it out loud. No, you're not allowed to say that about yourself. You can't do that. No, 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 no. You're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. And sometimes we need to talk to ourselves out loud and say, no, you can't. You're better than that. You've got more than that. We just sometimes really take ourselves down. And I don't know whether it's my age. I think it is. And I said to my daughter today, I said, Christina, I did the best I could. It was a reflection today as we were kind of talking about some things. And you look at things so differently as a kid than when you look at things when you are an adult. The perspective of what it looked like as a kid to the perspective of what it looks like as an adult are very, very different. And it looks so different when we're a kid. And then when we get an adult, it's just so much different. Think of yourself as a good friend to eliminate negative self-talk. I love that. But, I just think sometimes we just allow ourselves to kind of get in our headspace and just really negatively talk down about ourselves. And one thing that I've kind of gone through as I've watched, been kind of transported into pioneer life. And I'm telling you, I can sit there and say, thank you, Lord, that we have all these blessings. My mom was at the thing today, the church, and of course, I said, well, Mom, thank God you didn't have to go run into the outhouse. Because we don't have an outhouse. Everything's, we have so many benefits in our modern day society that they didn't have back then. And I remember that it was an early episode of Little House on the Prairie, and Charles had gotten, they were having financial difficulty, and the family pulled together in order to help to make everything and all the ends meet and everything like that. And the gentleman that paid Mr. Olson just looked at him and said, you know what, Charles, I think you're the richest man in Walnut Grove. And one of the episodes, they went off to a high school reunion, and I guess somebody that he liked and somebody that she used to like and so forth like that, they both were married and they both had this well-to-do house and everything. And they didn't have a big mansion. But when they got home and their kids were outside the door and they're running to their parents saying, you know what, we're so blessed. Sometimes the grass ain't always greener on the other side. You have to be thankful and grateful for what you have and who you are. And take one day at a time. Boy, have I learned to take one day at a time. And I was sitting there today. It was kind of sat there going, thank you, I can breathe just a little bit easier today. I can tell you, as far as us going outside and being able to sit and crochet, that is not going to happen for a little bit because I mean, sorry guys, I'm really tired. You can just see the milkweed just coming right down, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay right inside and let that milkweed all go where it's supposed to go. But it's too hot already. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for fall, and it's pretty cool. Looking at that's actually pretty cool. New feature. Hi S Taurus. When you compare yourself to someone else, your value goes down. Stop comparing yourself because of your because you're precious. I love that. And welcome. If you're new to this channel, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Hi Lucy. It is so true. We tend to compare ourselves. Well, this person's thinner and this person's this and this person's that. It is winter here. Well, it's not snowing outside, but you can see the milkweed and the kind of pollen going all over the place. But it is true. We tend to compare ourselves to somebody else. Well, that person's that. And, listen, I'd love to be, I like my height, so I'll stay the 5'9". I'd like to be 180 pounds and have hair thicker than this. I got thin hair. I don't know where it came from. My daughter has thicker hair. And, I'd love to have thick hair. I'd love to be able to have long hair. It is never going to happen. So, you know what? I just have to say, I have the hair I'm supposed to have, and I have the body I'm supposed to have. I can't change it. Christina was supposed to, and I have the dye to do it. Like, take a little bit of my hair, like right here, and do a little bit purple, because purple is my favorite color. Unfortunately, the hair dye has tendency to have a little bit of a smell to it, and it kind of carries itself. Patty gave me like hair dye, and I'm too afraid to use it again right now because it has a really strong smell to it after you use it for a while. And with the asthma, I don't even want to chance it. So I said to Christina, I'd love for you to do it. But the last time she did just a little bit of the pink on my hair, I smelled that little section for like days. It's been hair is purple. I would love to do that. I'd love to have long hair and thick hair. High Country Homestead said. And so anyway, I said, because of the asthma, I said, we're not doing this because I would smell it. And it's such a strong smell. It's one of the reasons why Josh and I are trying this this shampoo bar. We'll let you know. We'll let you know how it goes. But it's going to be all natural. It's going to have shea butter in it, olive oil in it. It's a shampoo-based cosmetic thing for shampoo. And we're going to put now eventually maybe we'll start adding like lemon scent and other scents to it. But I want to create one bar that's like nothing. It doesn't smell anything. And we're going to also try to add a little bit, maybe one with goat's milk to it. But I'm thinking you could probably use it. It's a recipe I got. You can use it for your hair and your body and put it in our soap caddies. I have to be very careful when I use shampoo because it has to be a shampoo that doesn't have a smell to it. Because if it has a smell that's not going to last outside of, if the smell lasts too long, it bothers my asthma. And it winds up giving me a migraine. So I can't have anything that has a strong smell out of the shower. So I have to have something that doesn't. And I found it kind of, but I'm hoping this bar that I'll make has really no smell. And if it works wonders and it comes out beautiful, then we're good to go. And so we're going to make our own shampoo bars because I think really and then we'll see how it goes from there. You don't always, Sophia says, don't always have to like yourself, but you should still love yourself. And you usually prefer what we don't have. And I get it as Taurus because humans naturally out themselves first. So obviously you don't hate yourself. Remember to humble yourself and take care of others. I agree with that. I agree with all that. I think that there has to be, here's the way I feel. I think there has to be a point where you have to say, I love who God, you can believe what you want to believe. If you want to believe in God, believe in him. If not, that's fine. You have to get to a point where you have to say, for myself. Hi, Dan, for yourself. No, I wasn't. Talking about shampoo. We're going to try to make our own shampoo bars. And we'll eventually maybe be able to put them up for people if they wanted to purchase them, but we're going to try them out first. You have to get to the point where you say, I love who God made me to be. Or I love, if you don't believe in God, I love myself. Because if you don't sit there and say, I love myself, then it's where you want to value yourself. You know, there's a difference between love yourself and Artemis. Yeah, I get it. Well, thank you for stopping in. Hi, country. But I have to go feed the cows. And I'm late. Well, go say hi to the cows for me. I think you have to I can sit there and say, I love who God made me to be. Because if we don't love ourselves first, if we don't get to the point, I don't know if it's love ourselves enough, but we have to be willing to accept ourselves. Whether you believe in God or not, you have to be in a point where you have to say, I'm so proud to be me. I have to be willing to say, I'm proud, or I'm thankful for who God made me to be. I love who God made me to be. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, if you don't believe in God, then there's nothing wrong with saying you have to be willing to say, I love who I am. Looking at the things you may don't like about yourself only to improve. You know what I mean? Only to improve. It's, to me, I look at it and I say, God loves me, so I need to love myself. Because then I can love others. If I don't love myself, then, and I think that when you do that too, it also flows into self-care. If I sit there and say, well, if I have to love myself enough at times to say, okay, I'm really tired, I can't do this. I have fibromyalgia, and so I can't do this. I'm too tired, or I'm this, or I'm I'm overextending myself over here. And if you don't love yourself enough to pull back, you're not going to be able to self-care for yourself enough. I really do believe that, because then you're just kind of taking advantage of yourself and saying, oh, well. I think we have to be careful, because I think we can get into, it's all about us, and it's not. It has to be about other people, but we also have to be in a place where we say, yeah, I love myself so I can love other people. And also, I love myself so I can self-care for myself. And I love myself not to put myself down either, because God loves me enough. And if you don't believe in God, there's nothing wrong with, still valuing who you are and still loving who you are. And I think that we need to teach our kids how to love themselves so that they can value themselves in a place that if they're going into any kind of relationship as they get older and aren't treating themselves with the respect, the scars that he get means are worth fighting for. Yeah, I mean, I just think that we can do so much when we can teach our kids to make sure that it turns into value. If you think about it, if you own something that you love, you're going to, hi Janet, if you own something that you love, you're going to take care of it, right? It's usually common knowledge that when you rent a place, you don't take care of it as well as you take care of your home, right? Because that's your home, that's something you own. But when you rent, it's not yours. You don't really even pay for it, but there's just a different value system to it. Well, yeah, we don't have to love ourselves first. No. We don't have to love ourselves to be able to love others. I don't know. I kind of think that sometimes I can say this. It's taken me a long time in my life to get to the point where I can say I'm thankful for who I am and I love who I am. I think that's the different way of putting it. It makes my heart, I don't know, it extends my love a little bit more when I can be able to. I'm a very open person, and it doesn't take me much to love somebody. But when I can sit there and say I love who I am, and I love who that's who I've been. It's just, I think it takes us so long to get there. When we finally get there, it's like, oh, I get it. I did it. I finally got it. It's kind of like, because throughout my life, people say, oh, you're just too sensitive. Mary's just too sensitive. Well, yeah, if I'm upset, if I'm angry, if I'm sad, you see it all over this face. And I wear my heart on my sleeve, you can see it. There's not much that you can't see. And everybody in my life has said, you're just too sensitive. You just need to stop it. And you know what? That used to irritate the heck out of me. I needed to be extra sensitive because I had to raise a child with autism that had to be taught how to emotionally be. And I had to be very, 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 hi Nancy. I had to be very, very into her and her emotions like that. I mean, I would see something happen before it happened, and I was so in tune with it because of it. And I taught her emotions. And so I could not have my emotions buried. They needed to be very obvious to the surface. God knew that. And so I just would sit there and say, well, yeah, I tend to be sensitive. And that would irritate me. But I look at it now and I'm proud to wear that because I needed to be. I had to be. You know what I mean? Because my daughter needed to be taught the emotions. I mean, if she was having a autistic meltdown when she was a kid, she could literally just look at me pan-faced. There was nothing. And just her computer crashed. She could go into a meltdown. She could kick me, and there was nothing. There was no tears. There was no I'm sorry. There was nothing. And I had to show her what emotions look like. I had to, show her and show that by example of what emotions look like, because she could be totally pan-faced. We were in the car. She was probably about 9 years old. We had rocks in the car because we had gathered them someplace. She picked one up as I'm driving 45 miles down the road with a rock in her hand like this. No emotion. None whatsoever. And I thought, this child's going to throw this rock at me as I'm driving, and I had to pull over and get it out of her hand. But there was pan face as all could be. I had to teach her emotions. I had to teach her empathy. They don't, as a whole, autistic children do not have empathy. They have to be taught it. And so I had to show her how to apologize, how to say she was sorry, how to walk through forgiveness. I had to show her, and because my emotions were so much there, I could do it really easy. It didn't take much for me to do it. I'm also a big talker. Talk a heck of a lot. My dad never met a stranger. I'm just like my father. And so I can talk a lot. But I'm telling you, and my friends will know this, when I become your friend, I am loyal like you cannot believe. And my daughter is the same way. And recently, she had some things happening. And she said, my mother said, you're just like your mom. When your friends are under fire, she said, you come out fighting for them. And that's the same truth. I will defend my friends. I'll be there for my friends. I will listen to my friends. And the thing is that it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I can say, these are qualities that used to bug the dickens out of me, some of them, like the sensitivity and the talking too much or not having things come out the right way or something. And I can tell you that this YouTube channel, which by the way is my mom's, any revenue from this channel goes right to her. I don't see it. I don't want it. I just need the connection. I do this to help her, but I do it because I desperately need the connection. And this YouTube channel, I said to my husband recently, this is a YouTube channel, has given me a place to be my goofy self that goes and stands out in the rain. I did that the other day. Goes and stands out in the rain and says, guess what? It's raining. Maybe we need to be silly for a moment. And, you know, I also need the connection, Nancy. I get it. I can be goofy. I can talk. I can interact with people. Things may not come out the right way all the time. I can just be my authentic self for the first time in a very long time. I don't have to hide who I am. And I can look at myself in a very different perspective. It means that I can say to myself, you know what? I love who Mary is. I love who God made me to be. I'm proud of being myself because everyone else is taken. And if I can encourage someone else to have that same mentality a heck of a lot sooner than I did, wonderful. If they can walk away from this and say, you know what, I'm proud of being myself because everyone else is taken. Hallelujah. You're pretty awesome as you are. You need not to be weird about being yourself. And Sophia, I love you. You know that. I love all of you. But yeah, and I think that we're going to get that saying on a shirt because it has been something. It's a little bit of a combination with the song. Thank you. We came back. We went to, Danielle, we went to my husband's grandmother's sister's memorial service day in Columbus. It would have been his great aunt and Christina's great aunt. So some of the family showed up in Columbus for her memorial service, and we went to that. So you all got to see me in my Sunday best. You know, I know I could come on this channel and do makeup and do hair, but you know, understand, guys, there's some times where putting makeup on actually hurts. Oh, you know what? She was 94 years old. She'll be missed. I know it's sorry for the loss of dealing with. Well, thank you, S. Taurus. I'm glad you stopped in by. She was 94 years old. She had a wonderful, wonderful life. She was a believer. And she had an amazing life. And actually, my husband's grandmother is older than she was. Stop by anytime. We try to open and turn on the lighthouse here. It's all about the connection. No crochet hook required. But anyway, she was 94 years old. She had a wonderful life. And it was a memorial service. I know her husband will miss her. And he said, I will miss her, but I will be reunited with her one day. And, of course, her children will miss her. And I'm sorry for them. But she had a wonderful life. And I think somebody said more people showed up than they thought it was going to show up for her and her church family. And it was very nice. I'm glad we went. But there are some times where putting makeup on because of the fibromyalgia, it just hurts. And so I know I maybe could get more people to like the page. I've thought about that. Fix my hair and I put the makeup on, but some days it's just, I don't have it to do. And so I figure out, you know what? I kind of want to show that, you know what? This is life. Come find me how I am. And actually, even though my hair is done, it's got a little curl, you can all see there's not much to it. I don't know why I didn't get full hair, but there's not. I don't have much to it. And makeup's so expensive. I can't just use the simple inexpensive makeup. I have to use the Almay or the Neutrogena makeup. I have to use the expensive stuff. Stuff that costs like $10 a bottle, and I'm like, nope, I can't do it. So, I do, and I probably should every once in a while put some makeup on and do my thing, but then it's kind of like, and two, if I've got as a fibromyalgia patient, if I do something and then I've got to go have a nap, I don't like to have a nap with hairspray on and I just want to go have a nap, but there's not much to it. I got the hair I'm supposed to have. I'm proud of being myself. Everybody else is taken, right? So anyway, but thank you. I appreciate it. I like doing my hair and getting my makeup on every once in a while. I just can't do it every day. It's like I want to be myself and sometimes my authentic self. And hopefully you guys are here for the conversation and the chats and the silliness. And maybe I will on occasion do my hair and makeup a little bit more. But sometimes I've done it where I've just thrown on powder and a little bit of blush and a little bit of eye makeup and so forth. But I just take it easy. Yep, and that's exactly what it is. Embrace the glorious mess you are. And there's a lot of days this girl's just a mess. But I figured out before it's almost 7 o'clock. So I'm going to get off here in a few minutes. But I just figured out before I go have a shower and before I get ready for bed, and no point doing makeup every day. It's not like I go to work or anything that I really, that I can't. I wish I could work, but I just can't. I never know what's going to happen the next day with me, whether I'm going to be able to do much. And with my back, I can't always do things I'd love to be able to do. But, I just, and I think too, having fibromyalgia, I want to show people that, you know what, it's okay. If you're not able to do this, if you're not able to, get the makeup, and I'm working on a veteran's lap Afghan. Oh, I'm sure that'll be beautiful. If you're not able to do that, it's okay. Just be yourself. It's not all about anything. And there's some people that want to do that, and that's great. It depends on my day. And I love you all, that y'all just take me who I am, no matter what I look like. And not that I try to come on as a mess, but you just love who I am. And that's and two, that goes to kind of, you know what? Take the time to look past and look at the person. You all have been here long enough. A lot of you people within the chat have gotten to know who Mary is. And it's because you've taken time to look inside of here and not here. And, listen, I'm not criticizing anybody. If putting makeup on and fixing your hair and doing all that makes you feel wonderful, yes, I agree. Makes you feel wonderful, go for it. If it makes you, and it's not that it doesn't make me, I like doing my hair and I love doing my makeup. I love doing that girl stuff. But there's some days where I just don't have it. And I think there's probably a lot of fibromyalgia patients that kind of feel that way. They have to understand that sometimes the touch of skin hurts. Sometimes I'll be in very loose clothing because the touch of things are hurting. It's painful. And people don't realize that if they don't deal with fibromyalgia. Sometimes it's just the touch. Sometimes a hug actually hurts. And I know that sounds probably nuts, but it's the truth. And so part of this page is having people understand what that life is like, and it's not easy and it's difficult, and it can be painful, but I want people to be proud of themselves, and whatever that means. If it means you get your hair done and you put your makeup on and you go get your fingernails, your fingernails done and everything, and go do it. Makes you feel good and you got the funds for it, go do it. And that, everything, we don't always need to do everything that makes us feel good, but if it makes you feel beautiful, go do it. And you got the funds for it, go do it. I love to do my nails. Like, if I could, I would go get my nails done every couple of weeks. But I would do that gel nail stuff that you just put under the thing and it dries within a few minutes, because I've tried to do the other and I inevitably fudge my nails. I would go do I think I love doing my toes even more than I love doing my fingernails. I love doing my toes. I go to get a pedicure about every month if I could. I love doing that. I love having my toes painted more than I think my fingernails. But do what makes you feel good. If crocheting does, if walking in the sand in the rain, I saw that earlier, Sophia, go do it. If standing out in the rain helps you, you get to choose your comfort, and little joys of life that make you feel good. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to try that. I will let you all know on the shampoo bars. But if they're great, and I don't know how many people are dealing with the issue I'm dealing with. I'm telling you, you go to the store and you pick up a shampoo. This is my frustration. I'm going to just do a rant for a second and then I'm going to get off here in a minute. You go to the thing and you take something that says shea butter and vanilla, right? And you would think that just something simple like that would smell like vanilla, very nice, and I can take vanilla. And you come home and it's the most perfumey stuff. Even if if you start smelling them in the store, by the time you get to the third one, you can't tell because your sniffer's so confused. It doesn't smell too bad in the store, but then you get it home and it's just like, oh my goodness, what are they putting in these dang on shampoo things? And I used to use mane and tail, but then it's getting harder and harder to find that one, because I could use that one on my body and my hair and it wouldn't have very much of a scent. Now, what we use now, the scent doesn't stay long in your hair. And I'm like, does this really make sense? So trying to find a shampoo or a body wash that doesn't have a scent, because what happens if I smell that scent outside of the shower for very long, it's going to give me a migraine. I don't know how many people deal with scents that bother them due to allergies, due to fibromyalgia, due to whatever, that may spark a migraine. So I thought, well, I'll try the shampoo bar. And the shampoo bars, I've looked at them, and some of them are ridiculously expensive. I thought, well, we'll try to make our own shampoo bar, and we'll see how it goes. You get to choose we have Save Med here. It's perfect for sensitive skin. Yeah, it's not so much sensitive skin, it's just the smell. It gets so dang on perfumey that I can't take it. And yet I smell it in the store and I'm like, it cannot be that bad. It cannot be that bad. And you get it home and it's like, what? What is it? And it just stays with you for hours and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't take it. So it's just what is this, a base, like a base. Hi, Alfonso. I'm not going to be able to come on. I don't know if you're doing a live tonight. I had to come on live today because we weren't able to come on yesterday because Mocha had to go to the vet unexpectedly. We had a very busy day yesterday. We just got back from the memorial service for Eloise, and so I'm exhausted. I'm going to be getting off soon and going, probably telling I'm going to be having a nap. If I sleep through the night, I'm going to go ahead and just sleep. So I will try to be awake to at least be in the chat. But hopefully next week I can get back together with you on your channel for lives, but it won't be tonight. But I just don't understand it, and it's like it's just so fragrantly, and I just, why? Even the ones that say no fragrance. Even the baby ones, I looked at the ones recently, I thought, well, I just used, Johnson & Johnson. They still feel like they have a fragrancy kind of smell to them. And so I thought, well, this is just a cosmetic base, and it's cosmetic base. We're going to put olive oil in it. Okay, Alfonso. We're putting shea butter in it, olive oil in it, and this cosmetic base. And just those 3 things in it. That's it. And we'll see how it turns out, and I'll let y'all know. And then we'll put it in one of our soap caddies, and then you could just take it, the shampoo bar, and just wash your hair in with the soap caddy. And like we do with our soap caddies with regular soap, hang it up, and then just let it dry out, get it wet again, and do the same thing until it washes out. I'm going to see how long it lasts. But I think we can use it for the whole body too, because it's got everything in it. Yeah, it's the pH natural and scent free, perfect for when. Again, it's not the I have sensitive skin to some degree. It's not that, it's the smell. And then it just carries on your body. Maybe that's the pH of it. I don't know. It just can carry on my body for hours, and then I'm just going, oh, I can't take it. So I thought, well, we'll give this a try. I'm too tired to try it tonight, but we're going to give it a whirl. And then we can add goat's milk to a bar and add with goat's milk. And then we can start adding some scents to them and maybe offering people with some scent that want a bar of soap. But we'll have to figure out the pricing. But I've seen some of these shampoo bars, and they're terribly expensive. And I'm like, they don't need to be that expensive. I don't want to, if we offer them, I'll do them a little bit above for mom. And of course, it'll all go to mama. But I don't want it terribly expensive. Because I don't know how many people are having the same problem. If it doesn't have too much of a smell, then I've solved my problem, and maybe I've solved other people's problems about having something that doesn't smell to high heaven. Even though it simply says these simple ingredients, and you go, hi Ella, how are you? I just don't understand it. My little rant for the day. So we'll try it. My friend in New Mexico makes soap, which they're way much better. Yep. We've looked at making soap, but if we could start with the soap bar, this is or the shampoo bar. This is really, really easy peasy to do. But we'll try it tomorrow. I'll put it together tomorrow, and then I'll try it. I usually take scent-free options too, unless I know how I deal with the scent. And I don't know whether it's different over where you live, but here it's like it says scent-free, and you still get it. And it's like, why does it have to smell perfumey? That's my problem, is the perfume scent in it. And I just thought, I just spent, Josh and I pretty much used the same shampoo, and I'm telling you, it's $16 for a bottle of shampoo and conditioner. And I'm like, well, if I can do this for a heck of a lot cheaper and offer it to maybe somebody else kind of dealing with the same. Usually the scent develops in the package during the shipping. Yep. And so if I can do it and maybe solve somebody else's problem in the same way, that'll be great. Based on that. Oh, I'm sure they do, but I'm telling you, I've won homes and I can't take them, and I just end up giving them to my daughter because I'm like, here, I can't use it because it says it was supposed to have this mild scent, but it's not. So who knows? So we'll try this shampoo bar and see if I love it. And then I think having our soap caddies the way we do, to be able to, put the shampoo bar in the soap caddy and just be able to wet the soap caddy, put it in your hair, wash it, hang it back up, use it for, be great, see how it works on the entire body, and then just do that. Then you empty out the soap caddy. Soap caddy's done. You throw it in the washer and you start all over again. It's like we do with putting the shampoo in there. But to me, this probably work great with our soap caddies. And so I'm going to give it a try first. Christina said she'd give it a try, so we'll see. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm too tired. I would like to, but I know I need to rest. I need to self-love myself enough to rest. So anyway, so I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go actually have a shower. I'm going to go get ready for bed. I need to probably need another breathing treatment, and I'm not sure about prednisone yet. We'll see. And I just need to go to rest. I'm pretty tuckered. And so I'm going to say good night. Yes, take care of yourself. That's what I've been doing. I'm going to say good night. Again, maybe tomorrow I can work on devotions and get them up. You'll see Bible verses pretty heavy over the next couple of days, because at least I thought if I've been working on Bible verse shorts, Mom and I. If I can get those, at least I can start getting them up to date. And up to where the date matches the date. And so that's what I'm working to get. We'll get those all up, I promise you. Again, the devotions won't be long because I want to get caught up. And I did get the Little House on the Prairie. Hold on a second, I'll show it to you. Hold on a minute. Okay. I did get this. This is the Lori Ingalls Wilder devotion book for Little House, written by Lori Ingalls, favorite Bible selections. And so this next year, along with Lisa Harper, we're going to do this, and then I've got Lisa Harper down there. We're going to do Lisa Harper, we're going to take a break, and then after we get done with Lisa Harper, we're going to go into this. It's not... I'm going to have to really work with it to make it a devotion. I think we can, but it's going to be a deep dive. But we're going to kind of do that. I heard she had a very interesting life, and it'd be interesting to get involved with that. But that's what we're going to do as far as probably finish. It'll take us a year. It'll take us like half the year to get through this. But I will post this in the devotion links for next year when we start doing them. And I probably recommend anybody who wants to follow along to maybe consider getting the book. They don't have to, but because there's probably going to be more information in the book than I can actually put in the devotions. But I'll have to sit and actually go through it. But we will. But remember, we'll hopefully on the way to church, hopefully if I'm up to church tomorrow, you'll see me. And then Monday, we won't. I'll try to get some more devotions done. And then on Tuesday, we're going to start rolling because, what's the date, the 7th? Yeah, I got only a couple more days, guys. I've got 10 more days. No, well, 10 more days of tomorrow, and then I'll have my birthday. So anyway, thank you all for joining. It's been a delightful conversation tonight. I'm glad I hopped on to let you all know, and hopefully YouTube can get us back in the algorithm of everything. So remember to be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. Remember, we got you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered, and keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook required. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Have a great night. Wherever you are, I love you all tremendously. And ta-ta for now. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless.